Welcome to Foro Politico, free and independent. My name is Marcos Palma, and this is Latino PBS. Today is August 4, 2016. Today, we're going to talk about the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce because in next month, they will have their annual convention. It will be from September the 21st to the 23rd. It will happen at the Riverside Convention Center. This will be the 37th convention and is aimed to get the businessman or businesswoman. It's for those ones that want to improve their products, they want to improve their services, and is how to sell more services or more products. In that convention, there will be political leaders, and among the topics that they will be talking is about energy, water concerns, opportunities for small business, networking techniques, women empowerment, and entrepreneurship, and other ones. Let me tell you that according to the U.S. Census, there is more than 122,000 Latino-owned companies through the Riverside and San Bernardino counties. These companies generate annually $11 billion with V, $11 billion in this region. Another important data is that a California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has more than 800,000 members, almost a million through the state. 800,000 members of the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. You can see, you can have an idea this economical power that this Chamber of Commerce they have. The theme of this year convention is Innovation Starts Here. And I want to welcome Dina Escobar. She is the president from the Greater Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Dina?
Yes.
Dina, thank you very much for coming with us. You've been before with us in this show. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. She has an important role in this Chamber of Commerce in the Island Empire. And also we have Mr. Figueroa, Steven Figueroa. He is an immigrant advocate also in this area. Mr. Figueroa, thank you so much for being with us in another show. And I would like to start talking about that thing that happened, the kickoff of the celebration of this convention that happened 2 weeks ago. And how was it, Mr. Figueroa, how was the kickoff of this celebration for that convention?
Being present, it was beyond our expectations. When you expect 150 to 250 people show up, and conservatively we're saying 500 showed up, we believe there was a lot more, it was outstanding. The politicians that showed up, the corporations that showed up, including Wells Fargo that gave $100,000 to the chamber. It was beyond our expectations.
How important for the Latino community is to do this kind of events, this kind of kickoff? Because this is that prayer before the convention.
It's extremely important, not just for the Latino community to go and show, but for the other communities, the Anglo community, mainstream community, to see the Latinos in action, in business, to say, you know what, this is dollar power. This is Latino activism. This is Latino businesses making the difference in our community.
Besides the Wells Fargo, the biggest corporation, who else is participating? Who else were at that kickoff?
Well, perhaps Dina could speak better to that as sponsorship, but I know Bank of America
well,
was there.
Well, Dina's busy with she's a kind of businesswoman, and she's...
I'm actually, you know, I do want to mention, I'm looking for all the sponsors. I do want to mention all the sponsors. For us, this was an amazing event. You know, as Steve was talking about, we had, normally the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, when they have a kickoff convention, they have about 150 people show up. We had over 500 people at that convention. We were in a 10,000 square feet building, and it was full, standing room only. And so I want to thank our board because I think we did an amazing job in putting it together. And we did our press conference in the morning, and then right after, you know, in the afternoon, we had a legislative hour. Also, we had like over 23 legislators there attending the event. So people, the public, was able to ask questions to them. And then right after, we had the reception. And it was just phenomenal. You know, it was standing room only. But, you know, you mentioned Wells Fargo, so I wanted to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. Especially, you know, we had the big sponsors like Wells Fargo, Frontier, Pepsi Cola was there, Aetna, Bank of America, WSPA, Chase Morgan, or Chase JP Morgan, La Que Buena was there. But really, I want to give out a shout out to our smaller vendors that made it all possible. What we call the reception was the kickoff, was a taste of the IE, a taste of the Inland Empire. And we had different restaurants participating in bringing the food. So they were sampling the restaurants, their food. And so we had Eduardo's there. We had Mama Cheesecake. We had Mexican Grill Habanero. We had, let's see, this was Felipe's Catering. We had Pepe's Panaderia. We had El Clasificado. We had Mezcal. We had Villaroma and Ritual Brewing Company. We had the Riverside Art Museum participating as well, alkaline water and provision. So we had a lot of participation from the community, a lot of participation from the local vendors, and it was just a complete success. Very, very pleased with the outcome.
Coming back to Mr. Figueroa, if you can talk to me a little bit about this huge California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Right now the president is Mr. Frank Montes, but in overall, besides those 800,000 members, how important is for the economy in California?
It's extremely important because the California Hispanic Chamber throughout the state provides workshops and services, but more importantly, access to corporations to get your business to get contracts and certified with such companies as Edison and banking industries and local government agencies. So this is so important because it stimulates billions of dollars in Latino communities, investment and reinvestment dollars into our communities.
When we talk about dollars in the economy, local economy, state economy, and international, because we have to get to the globalization of the economies, how important is to bring political leaders to that, for those conventions?
It's extremely important because if the leaders don't see the Latino business dollar presence, it's out of sight, out of mind, they ignore us. They so rarely come to Latino events. And when we can have an event that is so empowering, so majestic, that they're coming to us, it's telling them, you know what, they recognize our dollar power and they better recognize our vote.
Since we are in the Inland Empire, Mr. Figueroa, and then the city of San Bernardino was in bankruptcy, is coming back because of the numbers that we have right now, because the city of San Bernardino belongs also to the Inland Empire.
Right. Well, not just San Bernardino, but throughout the state. If California or this nation is going to succeed, it's going to be partially or more than likely because of Latino businesses, the entrepreneurial spirit, the willingness to take risk that other people won't take. Latino businesses taking risk in San Bernardino that other businesses are going, I'm not going there, I don't like the neighborhood. But guess what? In San Bernardino, McDonald's was founded, Baker's was founded, the McGuire Brothers Bail Hotline was founded. So a lot of multi-million and billion-dollar industries were started here in San Bernardino.
That comes to my next question, Tina, about why did you pick the Inland Empire to do this convention? How come didn't you pick, for example, San Diego or, for example, El Centro, California? Why did you say, okay, next convention is going to be in the Inland Empire, and this time in the Riverside Convention Center?
You know, I'm so glad you're asking that question. I'm the president for the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I've been involved with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce over 14 years. So this is the fourth time that I'm serving as the chairwoman for the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And our chamber is 37 years old. And this is the first time that we're hosting the convention in the chamber, in the IE, or that any chamber has hosted. So it was hosted in Palm Springs many, many, many moons ago. And I say that, and it wasn't even hosted by a chamber. There was another time where we were going to host it, and then they took it to Orange County because they didn't think the IE was I guess I can say this, a sexy enough city where people would want to come. But the IE has evolved a lot. We're growing. You know, our Latino population has grown tremendously. If you look at Riverside, if you look at San Bernardino, We have more than 51% of Latinos, and a lot of them are business owners. You already went through the statistics. Plus Riverside, you know, we have a brand new convention center, and it's just an amazing place to visit. You have downtown Riverside. I mean, it's just a different place now. And then we have everything that's so close. You know, we have the beach that's close by. We have wine country that's close by. We have Palm Springs that's close by. So everything is really within driving distance, you know, within 30 minutes to an hour. So the IE is growing tremendously. And I'm so happy and excited that the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce made a decision to bring that convention to Riverside.
Even though the name of this Chamber of Commerce is Hispanic California or Latino California Chamber of Commerce, is open to any businesses, because I can see that, for example, sometimes the owners of the business, they're white or Anglos, they want to get to the Latino, but they do not know. They wish to speak the language. They wish to know their culture. But there is an opportunity for them to approach to the Latino businesses.
Absolutely. If you're thinking about Latino power, Latino spending power, and we're talking about that, right? You want to get to that culture. You want to get to that, to the people that are going to be visiting your whatever business you have, right? That they're going to be doing business with you. So it doesn't matter what kind of business, what kind of ethnicity you want. You want to look at the buying power of the Latino. You know, when we're talking about over 51% in the IE as being Latinos, yeah, you want to get to that spending power. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you have or what ethnicity you come from, you want to be in front of the Latino population.
Are you nervous about this convention? Because you did not know how many people there are going to be, even though it's going to be in September the 21st or the 23rd. You say expecting a lot of people. It's because you're the host of that convention?
You know what? I'm not nervous. I'm really excited. And I'm not nervous because I was nervous prior to doing the kickoff reception because I didn't know what to expect. But the outcome that we had was just tremendous, that now it's like, okay, that's just a little taste of what's going to happen at the convention. And I'm excited. I'm excited because we have a lot going on. Like from the first day, we actually are starting on Tuesday the 19th. And what's going to happen there, we have a golf tournament. So that's going to be for anybody who wants to come play golf. They're going to start at the convention early. Then right after that, you know, they're going to have an opportunity to visit downtown Riverside. We have what we call a pub crawl. And so they're going to be able to visit the different establishments in downtown Riverside. They're going to get to see what Riverside is about. And so that's just the beginning. And then we have a program, you know, a different event every single day. Wednesday we have different workshops. Then we have a welcome reception. Then on Thursday we have the Latina Empresaria Day. And I'm super excited. I'm part of that committee as well. We're going to have different workshops. It's all about empowerment. It's all about empowering people. When I talk about Latina Empresaria Day, it's not just empowering the Latinas. We have men, we have a lot of different people who come to that event. Again, you know, we want to empower everybody. And it just gives Latina women that extra, I guess, extra push or extra empowerment to let them know that we're behind everybody and that we want to support them.
Let me give you just know, if people are interested in sponsoring, they can go to info@cahcc.com or 916-444-2221 for sponsorship opportunities. You can have a booth there. You can come out and say, I want to sponsor there. There's going to be so many opportunities to meet with bankers, to meet with utilities, to meet with government agencies. If you need business, you need to show up. And the question is, if you want my dollars in your business, you need to show up.
Let me hold it because we have to take our first break. But by the way, did you play golf, Mr. Figueroa?
I play to the best of my abilities. I'm a handicap.
Okay, we're going to take our first break, but I'm going to give you again the web page if you want more information to be part of this convention. Remember, it's going to be at the Riverside Convention Center from September the 21st to the 23rd, and the web page is www.cahcc.com. It's going to be here. That way you can have it and get more information. If you are a businessman or a businesswoman and you don't get the sales that you wanna, this is the date. Remember, September the 21st to the 23rd. You're watching FORO Politico, free and independent, and this is Latino PBS. I'll be right back. Thank you for joining us once again. Today we're talking about the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce annual convention that will be at the Riverside Convention Center September 21st to the 23rd. If you want to get more information about this convention, just get to this webpage, www.cahcc.com. And Mrs. Escobar, President Dina Escobar.
Esquivel.
Esquivel. Oh my God, what I call you, Esquivel. Dina
Sorry, I meant to tell you a little bit.
Esquivel. Dina Esquivel. She is the president from the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Mrs. Esquivel, why did you pick the name to this convention? Innovation starts here.
Because there's a lot of innovation in Riverside. From technology to art, we call the city of innovation. And so it just made sense to theme the convention the same way. And there's so much that's going on right now that it's just the perfect name. It's the beginning of a lot of great things. It's innovation, it's art, it's culture. So it just makes perfect sense.
About the issues that you will be talking in that convention, for example, we have the energy, water concerns, opportunities for small business, networking techniques, women empowerment. If you can elaborate any more about those issues, that way people knows what it's going to be.
Okay, well, we're going to have a lot of different companies that are going to come in and talk about energy and talk about one of the segments too that we have is the millennials. A lot of people don't talk about millennials. So we have a segment on millennials. We're going to have a whole day dedicated to millennials as well. Public utilities, these are issues that a lot of people don't even want to talk about. They want to focus on what's in front of them, but they don't always look to see, what do we need to do to increase our energy or to save energy or to make a difference. There are a lot of issues that are going on that people are not aware of. So we want to bring that information to the community, to the public, so they know what's going on and the impact that they have in our future. And so I'm really excited about that. When have you been to a convention where you're hearing these topics, right? So the millennial generation, we can talk about that as well. There are a lot of people out there that need the guidance, need the mentorship, that don't have it. We don't have the jobs. So a lot of them are going into entrepreneurship. They're looking for that mentorship as well.
What are you doing to overreach the millennials? Because it's not easy to bring over to the millennials because they're very busy doing something else, but not something related to business. But what are you doing?
I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I think that the millennials, it's the biggest population since the baby boomers. We have 82 millennials. And people are talking about millennials as being entitled, as being lazy, as being these kids that are still living at their parents' homes. But if you think about the millennials, they've gone through a lot of different things. They've gone through the recessions with their parents, the parents losing their home. And a lot of them are going to graduate schools, they're going to college, they have degrees that they can't use. So they're falling back into getting jobs. They're coming out of college with a lot of debt too. A lot of school debt, a lot of credit card debt, and they don't have the help. So a lot of them are still living at their parents, but they don't want to be in that position. They want to be able to use their degrees. They want to be able to do something with their life, and they need the guidance and they need the mentorship. So we're reaching out to them to provide that guidance that they need and the mentorship they need. A lot of them are also interested in becoming entrepreneurs. They know that they have to do something if the jobs are not there. And some of the people that they listen to, some of the people that they have seen as being successful are the Steve Jobs of the world. So Steve Jobs is an entrepreneur. So they're looking into that, okay, so what do I need to do to become an entrepreneur? So we're offering that guidance. We're offering different workshops at the convention so they can actually go above and beyond of what they have been shown so that they can open up their way into life. Pretty much
then it's a very good opportunity for them to open their eyes and say, okay, this is a good opportunity. I like that thing that you mentioned about Steve Jobs, about this man that created those computers and that technology that is all around the world. It's an example of globalization. And also that you mentioned Steve Jobs, because the other side, the opposite, for example, recently Mr. Clint Eastwood, this actor, he said something about that. He used a bad word that I cannot say on television about this generation. Mr. Figueroa, since you've been advocate for a lot of immigrants, we heard those comments about the millennials. You have a lot of experience working with the immigrants. What is the difference on those generations that you have seen? For example, that generation before the 2000 year and then after the 2000, this generation that we see. Do you see a more energetic, more passion generation, maybe talking about the Latinos, more that they have passion to open the business?
Not just more passion to open a business, but more technology advanced. The millennials have realized there's money to be made in technology. There's money to be made on the internet. Whereas you still have a lot of the older generation that are fear of getting involved on the internet. It's an unknown risk, and with the lack of experience, they're afraid to get involved. The millennials are pushing it forward and making money through the internet. That's the big difference I see.
One of the things that you're going to talk in the first day of the convention is about international trade globalization. This kind of, that is talking in politics right now, because we have a candidate, the Republican candidate, that he doesn't want to get NAFTA. He wants to renegotiate NAFTA. He wants to renegotiate the trade with China or with other countries. And by the other side, we had the Democrat that he wants to, or he hasn't said about what he's going to do it. But talking about globalization, tell me about how important it is for this area, for California.
Well, our director in that area, Mohammed Uslan, who does for the state international relations, has been successful in bringing the consulates of many nations to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And what this does is allow your local products, not just to go to Mexico, but to go to Europe, to go to Asia. There's money to be made. It's no longer about what's in Southern California. Southern California, through the internet, you can sell your products all over the world. Why limit it? Your access to get rich.
Then, Mr. Figueroa, you've been in another conventions, California Hispanic conventions. How different will be this one for the other ones, since it's going to be here in the Inland Empire and you live in the Inland Empire?
I am going to say, because of the elections, the excitement that is surrounding this convention is untold. People are speaking about it everywhere. It's going to be packed. I understand they're expecting 3,000 people. I don't know if that's per day or over the period, but I believe if it's anything like the kickoff, it's going to be far more than 3,000.
Going back to the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, if we can compare this chamber to the USA Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, how powerful what is the power between those ones?
Well, recently, I was going on here on the internet, the California Hispanic Chamber joined the National Association of State Latino Chambers of Commerce because the U.S. Hispanic Chamber is not reaching out to Latino businesses. They're more of a self-interest local organization looking out for their own cause, which is different than local businesses. The California Hispanic Chamber has had the ability to interact with small business right on the ground, and that is making them successful. They're far more innovative, far more involved in their communities, and the result is California is one of the most successful economies in the world. With this organization, I believe Texas is in there, Florida is in there, Utah is in there. All the states with large Hispanic populations have joined this new organization.
Mrs. Esquivel, going back to you, try to reach the Latino businesses or businesswoman. You said that you've been for 37 years. It's been hard to get to those businesses. What did you do to get there?
I don't think it's so much difficult to get to them. I think it's so much giving them or being able to find, not so much find them, but letting them know that there's a lot of opportunity out there for them. I think the challenge is in getting to them is for them to find the resources or make it easy to find the resources for the business owners. There are a lot of different resources, but a lot of people don't know about them.
What did you offer to them for those ones that want to get their membership, for example, in the Chamber of Commerce in Riverside?
Thank you for asking that question again. What we do with the memberships is we have a lot of great opportunities for them to interact businesses with businesses so they can do business with each other, because we all need each other. So we have different events throughout the year. We do monthly business luncheons that we bring information to the business owners that affect whatever business they're in, that's going to help them improve so they can improve on whatever it is that we need. We talk about different issues like HR issues. We also do different workshops so that they can be contract ready. In fact, we have workshops going on right now because we want them to be contract ready for the big companies like the public utility companies. A lot of them don't know how to become a minority certified business owner. So we tell them how to do that so they can get the bigger contracts with the governments as well. So they're minority business owners, business women owners, handicapped people that are handicapped and that have businesses. They can also be categorized as a minority business owner.
What would you tell those people, those businessmen or businesswomen, they do not speak the language, they do not speak English, and have you seen that kind of like a barrier that they don't want to be part of the Chamber of Commerce because they say, oh, I don't want to go because I don't understand, or those meetings are in English? But what would you tell them?
You know, I tell them that it's time for them to really open up and start learning more. I know a lot of those business owners because a lot of them are still operating. They own a business and they're very successful on it, but they're the cashier. I mean, if they have a meat market, let's say, they're the cashier, they're the people who go pick up the produce, they're the people that are running the store, and they need to really step out of that so that they can learn more and know how they can expand even bigger to what they're doing. They're so successful at one store, but they haven't looked at the possibilities of having another store or multiple stores and duplicating what they have done. A lot of them are still staying in there. I think they need to step a little bit out of the comfort zone to come and learn. If we have the need to provide workshops in Spanish, we would love to do that. We just haven't seen the monolingual business owners coming out and saying, hey, you know, we want to get information, we want to learn from you,
No,
and we want to reach that
and
market.
it's another challenge for them, because if they come out to this country and they had the will to do a business, now the next step is to learn the language.
Yes.
Because it's the language of the business, English. You have no choice. They want to do it, want to be successful, because as you mentioned, the cashier, I mean, they're going to be Asian, Muslims, Spanish, and the only language going to be taught is going to be English. It's not going to be Muslim, it's going to be Spanish, it's not going to be Spanish, it's not going to be Asian, it's going to be English. But hold your thought, because we have to take another break, Mrs. Esquivel. Again, I have to tell you the web page, if you want to get more information about this important convention, remember, for businessmen, businesswomen in Southern California. More than 3,000 businessmen and women together, September the 21st to the 23rd. You still can get a position. You can be part of this big event. It's going to be at the Riverside Convention Center. The phone number is area code 916-444-2221. Again, area code 916-444-2221, and the webpage is www.chcc.com. Stay with us. I'll be right back. This is FORO Politico, free and independent, and this is Latino PBS. According to the U.S. Census, there are more than 122,000 Latino-owned companies throughout the Riverside and San Bernardino counties, and these companies generate annually $11 billion in the Inland Empire. It's an idea, just to give you an idea how important is this area to the California economy, and that's why it's so important that you be part of this convention. Remember, September the 21st to the 23rd at the Riverside Convention Center. And Mr. Figueroa, how important is, well, I asked you already about the political leaders, but do you endorse any of the political leaders that you invite to the convention?
Well, the chamber as a whole cannot endorse individuals while there is a separate PAC. Personally, as myself, we can endorse on a personal basis, yes, I have.
Because I ask you this because it's very close to the election, November the 8th, and then since you're going to have 3,000 businessmen or businesswomen, they have employees, and that could influence their position.
Our goal is to so demonstrate the power of the Latino dollar, the power of Latino businesses, that they come to us and they say, we need the Latino business, we need the Latino dollar, and we cannot afford to make anti-Latino legislation, anti-immigrant legislation, because this is dollar power, and if California is to succeed, it's going to be with the Latino dollar power.
Mrs. Esquivel, who is going to be one of the big leaders that are going to be there in this convention? Can you mention some of them?
You know, we had so many great leaders at the kickoff reception, so I envision that those same leaders are going to be there as well. We had, you know, from different areas, we had Josie Gonzalez, we had Loretta Sanchez, we had a lot of different people. I think we're inviting all the politicians, assembly members, of course, Jose Medina, a lot of the politicians in our back door. One of the things that I see is that having them available to our small business owners and giving them access to them, it gives them an opportunity to really ask those questions that really impact their business, and that's our goal. You know, we want to give everybody an opportunity to come so they can really get to meet one-on-one and say, hey, you know, why this is affecting my business, what can I do about it? And that's what we bring to them. We, just so you know, Steve Figueroa was talking about being an election year. This is a big election year, presidential elections, and we did invite Hillary Clinton to come.
What did she say? You think so would be possible?
We're waiting.
You're
We're waiting
working
to hear
on it.
back. Yes, we sent an invitation.
And since you're not, since you're a political organization, are you trying to invite the other side?
We can be a little bit biased there.
You can a little bit biased, but
we can be biased. We don't need to invite the other side.
The other side. But what about other political leaders? Or who have you invited besides Mrs. Clinton? But he hasn't confirmed that they will be with you besides Mrs. Clinton.
I don't have all the names of the people I have been invited. We sent out, pretty much everybody's invited right now. Because, again, this is a big political year. It's an election year. So we had over 23 people that came to the kickoff reception.
How important will be for your chamber of the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to have a leader like, for example, the presidential candidate, the first woman to be nominated by the big party in the United States? How big is that being your convention? Because you're the host.
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's huge. It's not just for our chamber, but all of our local businesses, our California in general, right? Because we're going to have different people coming from California, Northern California, Central, Southern California. So this is a California event. So that's a huge thing. And it's not uncommon. You know, we've had presidential candidates come to our conventions in the past. And I think this year it's a bigger impact than
What
any
about
other
the
year.
governor, Mr. Jerry Brown?
He actually has been to he showed up to the legislative luncheon that we had recently in Northern California, in Sacramento. He came to the reception, so I'm sure that he's going to be invited as well.
Mr. Figueroa, since you've been participating in other conventions, who have seen in those big conventions? Because that's a kind of big for that convention there.
Well, being involved with the Mexican American Political Association in the past, that organization in the past, we had hosted everyone from Bobby Kennedy to Gray Davis to Feinstein to Boxer, and the whole host of candidates in MAPA. But that is an old organization that began in '54, before the Johnson Act took place, when nonprofits.
Why are you talking a long time ago, Mr.
Yeah, well, because
you got a long time,
because
and this is a 37 year. That's
I've
why
been
you're
involved
talking
for
about
30 some years, so you know.
Okay, now tell me about the first day of this convention. They will have a version of this famous show. It's called the Shark Tank. The people, the entrepreneurs that connect to the investors. How is that going to happen? How is that going to work?
I don't have the exact name, but we in our prior convention, we had associates of the individuals who are involved in Shark Tank actually bring their dollar power. And we had a few businesses do presentations, and I understand a couple of them were able to get investors as a result of Shark Tank. So we're bringing investors and Latino entrepreneurs together, or those participants, even if they're not Latino, to the convention so that they can get access to the investors.
Coming back to Mrs. Esquivel, tell us about this, the second day of the event, the Latina Empresarias. How does that work, the Latina Empresarias?
My gosh,
What will happen in that day? Because the Latinas, they have a powerful.
Yeah,
If we go driving, as one of the statistics that I've seen, when you're driving, just look who's driving besides you. And the car that is driving is a woman. It's a better car than you have. Yeah. I don't want to denigrate the man, but the woman, they have a better car. But tell me about those Latina empresarios.
Well, we have a lot more women that are professional, that are in the professional world. You know, a lot of equality between being a business owner, running a business, being a CEO for a great company. We're going to have the first Latina president in this campaign. So it's a big deal, right, to be a Latina, to be in business. And Latina in business is, you know, I can talk about success and being successful, but, you know, you can be a woman and run a company. You can be a woman and run your household, be the best mom, be the best housewife, and still have success in what you do. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're focusing your mindset or your power into. We want you to be the best you. So what I'm going to give you some of the workshops that we have planned for the day so people understand how powerful it is for women and men. So, you know, if we go back into how does it help a man? Well, yeah, if we have more women running businesses, they do want to get to know more about the businesses that they're running as well. So these are some of the workshops that we have going on. Be the best you in business and at home. We have being wealthy in all areas of your life. We have a Latina luncheon. We're going to have a different panel of business women talking about their success, how they got started, what happened in their journey, and how they got to where they got.
Let me interrupt you right here, Mrs. Esquivel. Can you give me an example on one Latina very successful in your area where you are? And you can tell me a story. How did they start? Because I have examples. For example, a woman that starts selling cookies, knocking doors, and then suddenly in 1-2 years, all the family they're doing cookies, but not just locally. They're selling to Phoenix, to San Diego, and they're a powerful story. But tell me about a story that one woman.
One woman. Well, the one female that comes to mind is Marta de la Torre. You know who Marta de la Torre is. She's pretty much the founder of El Clasificado. So for her to start off, you know, with a small business and going through all the challenges that business owners do, and to have the success that she has now, is just amazing. And this is only from 1980 going to till now. So everybody knows El Clasificado and how many doors it has reached, how many businesses, and the events that they host, because they understand the Latino culture. They understand what people are looking for, what men and women are looking for, and what businesses are looking for. So she's a great example of an entrepreneur. There are a lot of other examples. In my business, I do financial planning. So when you think about financial planning, when you think about an insurance broker, you think about a white, older male in my industry. That's no longer the case. In my company, 51% of the entrepreneurs with the PHP agency are females. And the majority are also Latinas. So,
Good.
so we have a strong presence in different areas where men used to be the dominating people in those industries. So
What's happening with us, Mr. Figueroa, that we're putting aside? They don't need us. The times that we face.
So much for being machismo, huh? But
could be.
today, the new machismo
It's
is
gone.
supporting your woman, supporting your Latinas to be successful. 'Cause
And-
if, you're
and
if you're a true machismo, you're man enough to help the Latinas succeed.
Well, we're seeing this right now, and then if we have the first woman in the White House, we're done.
No,
yeah.
you know what? We're redefining
We're
what a man
refining
is.
that. We're
You know
refining
what? We're going back to old school, you know? What a real man does is happy when his woman, when the Latina succeeds, when any woman succeeds, because that shows you're a real man.
Now we're going to change a little bit the topic about the convention, but we're going to repeat again the web page for this great event. That's what is important, that you take notes and go to the web page. It's www.cahcc.com. Remember, it's going to be at the Riverside Convention Center at September the 21st to the 23rd. It's so important. Even though if you're not a businessman or a businesswoman, please write down this information and give to somebody that they need it. You have time to give to them. Now we're going to talk about another issue that's happening here in the Inland Empire, and this is about Gender Tax Repeal Act on 1995. It has to be with the business, Latino business, mainly in the Inland Empire. And I'm going to ask you, Mrs. Esquivel, about what is this about? What is this happening in this conflict that's happening here in the Inland Empire?
Well, let me tell you, we're talking about women right now in business, right? And we're talking about different genders. Well, in 1995, there was a law that was passed, and it's called the Gender Tax Repeal Act of 1995. And what that does is that, if you have different establishments, you have like a hair salon. You have prices for men and you have prices for women. Obviously, a woman needs a little bit more time in doing her hair than a man. Men, if somebody goes to get a haircut, it's going to be a lot quicker than the time that you spend on a woman. So there are different prices. If you have nightclubs, in nightclubs they have people, sometimes they have a ladies' night, right? And so that's to attract more women to the club, and I'm sure that attracts men as well, right? And then dry cleaners, there's a difference in prices that you pay for a shirt versus a blouse. And it could be because the blouse needs a little bit more attention than the shirt, right? The shirt's a lot easier to press and clean and whatever, right? So what this act does is that it says that people need to be charging the same price for the same services. So what's going on right now is that we have businesses that came to us asking for help because there's an attorney out there who's taking advantage of this act and suing businesses. So you think about small
business because they want to
imagine right now, if you go to a dry cleaners, they do have different prices, right? Mm-hmm. So all it takes is for somebody to say, okay, you're charging a different price for a shirt for a man and a different price for a shirt for a woman, so we're going to sue you. And so now you open up a claim, you're suing that person, and so the minimum is going to be, what this attorney is promoting, is going to be $4,000. Now you're going to be liable for attorney fees also, okay? So what he's saying, he's going to the business owners, and what he's doing, he's taking his girlfriend, and then he goes in. And so what he's doing, he's saying, okay, so in order for us to keep it out of court, you need to give me $10,000. And so these businesses came to us saying, okay, this is not right, this is frivolous, this attorney is intimidating us, he's bullying us, we need your help.
We have another bully, a Latino bully now. We have already one. I have to stop it there because we have to take another break, but we have already one bullying. And now we have another here in the Inland Empire. When we come back, we're going to talk about this attorney that is doing this, supporting supposedly this business, and he's a Latino, he's an immigrant. And please stay with us. This is FORO Politico, free and independent, and this is Latino PBS. We're talking about this Gender Tax Repeal Act of 1995. This lawyer that wants to take advantage of the Latino businesses in the Inland Empire. He is an immigration lawyer, and now he is supposedly helping these Latino businesses to change their prices because she said that it's not right to charge more money because it's a woman. It should be the same prices. Mr. Figueroa, you've been working with a lot of immigrants as an advocate. What do you think about this lawyer? Do you think that he's tried to take an advantage of that? Or what is this come out? How did it come out?
While I've never met him, I've seen newspaper articles, and I've actually talked with a few of his victims in saying that he is taking full advantage of this law. This law desperately needs to be amended. Times have changed. He doesn't understand how business works. And you have, if a machine is made for a man's shirt, and you put, or a standard type of shirt, you put a woman's shirt on there, it's going to take more time, so there's more invested. It's not discrimination. It's if you have a different type of haircut, it's going to take longer. If I want a butch, I can go in there and get it for $3. But if I want a crew cut, it's going to be $10. Men and women get different haircuts, different styles. That doesn't mean it's discrimination. He's taking this to a new level, and he's targeting unsuspecting individuals who don't know their rights and procedural safeguards. He's a predator.
Then where do you think it's going to be ended?
Well, I think, one, we need to call, and we're all trying to reach out to our Assemblyman Jose Medina and other legislators to call for hearings on this to amend the gender repeal tax of 1995. It needs to be amended. There's a cure and correct part of it that says that if somebody notices you got like up to 30 days and you get a $1,000 fine, he jumps right into litigation. That part desperately needs to be corrected. It needs to say that a lawyer has to give at least 30, it needs to be amended, 30 to 60 days prior to any litigation initiation, give the person the opportunity to cure and correct it.
The name of this lawyer is Rogelio Morales. Rogelio Morales, he is in the Inland Empire and Riverside. And recently there were some protesters against him, and he was like a dancing. What's your take on that, Mr. Figueroa? That he was like a dancing, like a, out of context.
I believe that he is not reflective of the professionalism in his profession as attorneys who have high ethic and moral standards. But apparently he thinks it's all a joke, taking food out of children's mouths, taking money out of people's pockets, and as long as it goes into his pocket. You know what? All I can say is the community is going to address this. We're going to address it, and we're going to boycott his office.
It's a good way to face this situation?
Well, obviously right now we need to do something about it, and we're doing something about it. We're having different community forums. We also want the businesses to stay informed and also learn what they can do to protect themselves. I mean, there are things that they can protect themselves, like putting different signs as to what the tax repeal act is, and also displaying their prices correctly so people are aware of what they are. There are different things that they can do, and we're addressing it in our chamber, and also at the California Hispanic Chamber level. We are going to have a workshop related to this tax repeal act, so that businesses are aware and they can protect themselves, so that there isn't another attorney down the line in a few years down the line who's going to come back and try to do the same thing to them. We have a lot of hardworking people, a lot of people that are wanting to expand their business, wanting to do something great, and then you have somebody like this guy coming out and saying, hey, you know what, give me $10,000 because you have different prices for a haircut. It doesn't make sense. So the main thing for us is educate so that people don't get taken advantage of.
We're going to try to invite Mr. Rogelio Morales to our television show. That way he can tell the side of this story. That way you have more elements. But remember, it's very important to be part of these events. Don't stay quiet. It's time to speak out. It's time to to say that the things that they've been affecting you for a long time, and don't let people to take advantage of you. It's so important to join by others and be part of this situation, to be against this kind of
Just
people.
want to say, when you don't know your rights, people take advantage of you. Learn your rights.
Important. Finally, because we don't have much time, I'm going to ask you, Mrs. Esquivel, tell us finally, in conclusion, about this California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, where it's going to be. If you could tell a little bit about the prices, please, and look into the camera, please.
Yes. So again, I invite all of you to come to the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce State Convention, which is going to be from September 21st to 23rd, but we're actually going to start on September 20th. On the 20th, I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have the golf tournament. So if you're a golf person, somebody who likes to enjoy, a lot of people say that most businesses is done in the golf course, so you want to be there as well. We have activities every single day. To find out more about the activities, you can visit our website at the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.com or the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce website, which is chcc.com as well, and learn more about it. The prices are different, whether you're a member or non-member, and you still have time to become a member, so you can get the member price and not have to be not pay the non-member price, and have more opportunities to promote your business, to be visible to the community, to find out, how do I get involved? How do I become a certified business? Find out and come and visit us. So remember, Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.com. You can also contact us at 951-274-9400.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Esquivel. And Mr. Figueroa, you had the last word, also 20 seconds.
I would say get involved. We have a big election coming up. Who can predict what's going to happen in this election? Will Donald Trump resign, or Hillary's already 15 points ahead in most polls across the country?
Thank you very much, Mr. Figueroa. Thank you for your wisdom. Mrs. Esquivel, good luck.
Thank you.
You expected thousands of businessmen and businesswomen.
Done deal.
Thank you so much. My name is Marcos Palma. On behalf of everybody that makes possible this show, FORO Politico, thank you so much. Good night and see you soon.